Black boy. To paralyzed millionaire. I'll heal you for leftovers. She laughs. Then everything changes. The afternoon sun was relentless, baking the cracked asphalt of the small-town main road. Dust swirled in lazy spirals, settling on rusted fences and tired storefronts. On the edge of the sidewalk, a boy no older than 12 shuffled along, his shirt 2 sizes too big, its once bright color faded to a dull, lifeless hue. His stomach growled, but he kept moving, scanning the street for something, anything, that could lead to a meal. He had learned to survive on scraps and kindness, though kindness was rarer than coins in this part of town. His eyes caught movement ahead. A gleaming silver wheelchair, its occupant a sharply dressed woman with hair as perfect as porcelain and sunglasses that hid her eyes. The wheelchair seemed slightly tilted, one wheel stuck against a piece of uneven pavement. Even from a distance, he could sense the frustration radiating from her. He approached slowly, his bare feet whispering against the ground. "Ma'am," he began, his voice careful, respectful, "I can help you if you have anything left over to eat." For a second, there was silence. Then the woman let out a sharp, amused laugh, the kind that doesn't hide its contempt. "Leftovers," she said, her words dripping with derision. "You think I'd give you my scraps? Look at you." Her gaze traveled over him like a scan, noting the holes in his pants, the grime on his hands. "You should be ashamed, begging in the street." He didn't flinch. Hunger had taught him how to stand still in the face of cruelty. Without another word, he knelt by the wheel, examining the jammed spoke. "I'll heal you for leftovers," he murmured again, more to himself than to her. In a town like this, everyone knew her. The paralyzed millionaire who had returned from the city to simplify her life, though she brought her pride and sharp tongue with her. Some admired her for her business success. Others avoided her entirely. The boy had no opinion, only the simple fact that she was stuck and he could help. She tried to shoo him away, but he pressed the release and shifted the wheel free with practiced hands. The chair rolled smoothly again. He could have walked away, but something kept him near. He noticed her purse on the ground, slightly out of her reach. Without asking, he picked it up and placed it gently in her lap. Her expression shifted for a moment, something unreadable flashing behind the sunglasses. Then, just as quickly, the cold mask returned. "You're lucky I don't call the police for touching my things," she said, but there was a tremor in her voice, almost imperceptible. A pair of shopkeepers across the street paused to watch. One shook his head but didn't move closer. It wasn't unusual to see someone treated this way here. The boy's skin color, his ragged clothes, it was enough for people to look the other way. She started to roll away, but a sudden sound, a loud pop followed by a faint hiss, froze her in place. The small oxygen tank attached to her chair had sprung a leak. She inhaled sharply, panic flickering across her face. The boy didn't wait. He darted to the hardware store's side entrance, calling for the old mechanic who often gave him odd jobs. Grabbing a wrench and a patch kit, he returned within seconds. "Move," he said softly, crouching by the tank. His fingers moved quickly, tightening the valve, sealing the leak. The hiss stopped. The woman's breathing steadied. For the first time, she looked at him without the armor of arrogance. You knew what to do," she whispered. He only nodded, wiping the sweat from his forehead with the back of his hand. The street had gone silent. A small crowd had gathered, drawn by the commotion. They saw the boy save her without hesitation, saw the shift in her eyes as she realized who had just pulled her out of a dangerous situation. The woman's voice broke the silence. "Wait." She reached into her bag, pulling out a small wrapped sandwich from a local cafe. "It's fresh," she said, holding it out. The boy hesitated before taking it. "Thank you," he murmured, his voice barely audible. But she wasn't done. She called over to the shopkeeper. "This boy? What's his name?" When the answer came, she repeated it slowly, as if committing it to memory. "I want to see him again," she said. Later, it would be said that something changed in her that day. The millionaire who had once been known for her dismissive laugh was now seen buying tools for the boy, arranging odd jobs for him, even speaking out when she saw others treated as he had been. She never admitted it outright, but those close to her knew. She had been humbled, not by wealth or status, but by the quiet dignity of a hungry child who asked only for leftovers and gave her something far greater in return. And for the boy, that afternoon was more than a sandwich. It was proof that even in a world where prejudice was loud and kindness was scarce, a single act of courage could shift the balance. He would never forget the look on her face when her life was in his hands, not out of revenge, but as a reminder that everyone, no matter how high they sit, can one day need help from someone they least expect. Some who witnessed it would later whisper that it was karma. Others would say it was just the way the world works, that the strong aren't always the ones with money or power, but the ones who act when it matters most. And perhaps, somewhere in the quiet of her grand home, the millionaire thought about that boy when no one was watching, wondering how many times she had laughed at someone before seeing the truth.